Welcome to the third and final video guide about movement. This video will cover grounded movement options, like dash dancing, wave dashing, and wave landing, as well as introduce the concept of the neutral state of the game. The first and easiest of these techniques is dash dancing, which is a deceptively simple technique. All you need to do to dash dance is quickly flick your control stick back and forth. It can be hard to see how such a simple tactic can be useful, but it's the technique most commonly used to make your movement deceptive and unpredictable. Obviously, if you are only ever to run directly forward each time you plan on attacking your opponent, your attacks will become very predictable and easy to parry. But if you dash dance back and forth, it'll be harder for your opponent to predict which dashes will you actually follow through with and use as approach options, and which ones you will cancel by retreating and dashing back. At a high level, dash dancing to bait your opponent into whiffing a parry is a powerful technique, so don't sleep on dash dancing just because it's so simple to execute. Next up is wave dashing. Wave dashing in Rivals is actually very easy to execute, although like dash dancing, it can be hard to actually incorporate it into gameplay effectively. To execute a wave dash, you need to jump and then air dodge horizontally into the ground. When you jump with your character, they will enter a jump squat state for a short period of time before they actually leave the ground. You can cancel this jump squat state with an air dodge, which will create a wave dash if that air dodge is aimed along the ground. In Rivals, you can practically press the jump button and the air dodge button at the exact same time and just hold sideways to wave dash. For most characters, wave dashing is only slightly faster than running, with the only exception to this rule being Maypul, who has a wave dash only slightly slower than a run. The characters who gain the most speed by wave dashing instead of running are Etalus, Absa, Wrastor, and Elliana. In general though, it's a good idea to implement both running and wave dashing into your movement. While both are useful, wave dashing is slightly more committal as it forces you to travel a set amount of distance once you've started your wave dash, whereas you can stop your running at any time. The final technique to learn here is wave landing. A wave land is essentially just a wave dash, but using just your air dodge to slide along the ground. To perform a wave land, jump up to the height of a platform and then air dodge into it. If you mess this up, your character will just perform an air dodge, but if you get it right, you'll slide across the platform in the direction you chose to wave land. Wave landing is slightly harder to get used to than wave dashing is, but it is a crucial part of speeding up your gameplay and moving around platforms. Just look how much faster you can traverse the stage if you use wave landing as you move across platforms, as opposed to landing on them regularly. Wave dashing and wave landing both have many uses. You can wave dash into a smash or a tilt to chase an opponent, or do the same thing with a wave land by wave landing onto a platform and then immediately using a smash or a tilt. You can wave dash away from an oncoming opponent to avoid their attack while still being ready to counterattack. You can also use a wave land into a prop drop aerial to quickly move around your opponent and approach with an attack. The uses of wave dashing and wave landing extend beyond these, but these are some of the most common ways you can see them being used. If you want to get better at using these movement options in game, you should dedicate some time to practicing them in training mode. Practicing using wave dashing and wave landing, even for just a few minutes a day, can help you improve your in-game movement drastically. All of these movement options, wave dashing, wave landing, and dash dancing, can help you improve your neutral. If you aren't familiar with the term neutral, it's a pretty simple concept. When neither opponent has an advantage or disadvantage, you are both in what is called neutral. When you're getting comboed or knocked off stage by an opponent, you are in disadvantage. When you are comboing your opponent and knocking them off stage, you are in advantage. When a player successfully punishes an opening by hitting their opponent in neutral and putting themselves into the advantage state, that is referred to as that player winning neutral. Playing neutral well in Rivals is one of the hardest things to learn, because unlike in Smash, you don't have a shield that you can fall back to if you feel pressure from your opponent. Thus, neutral in Rivals is much more movement heavy. There are many different ways you can approach playing neutral, but the general concept is that you want to move around your opponent and look for openings in their movement. Once you find an opening, you want to punish that opening as best you can by either comboing your opponent to get damage onto them, or setting up a kill and taking their stock. The best strategies for playing neutral in Rivals of Aether are very much character and matchup dependent. For example, Etalus in neutral can use a lot of dash attack because, unlike the rest of the cast, he can cancel his dash attack with a wave dash. Sylvanous, on the other hand, wants to avoid using dash attack in neutral because that move has a lot of lag if it whiffs, so Sylvanous will be leaving himself open to getting punished if he misses it. Knowing what moves and what movement options are smart to use in neutral will take a lot of practice and learning. Neutral is a very complex aspect of the game, and not one that can be simply covered in a short guide like this one. There are many different videos out there that can help explain the concept of neutral and how to play well while in neutral. In the description, you can find a link to this one video from Deku Tree, which provides a more in-depth look on how to play neutral in platform fighters such as Rivals of Aether and Super Smash Bros. One final thing to mention about using movement to assist your neutral in Rivals though, is that you need to be careful not to go overboard with it. You should be efficient with your movement and move with a purpose. Be careful not to get so focused on moving across the stage that you end up placing yourself in dangerous situations that make it easy for your opponent to take advantage of your bad positioning. Sometimes, patience is the key to winning neutral, and in games in general. That's it for this guide. These first 3 videos have covered most of the movement options you'll see in Rivals. Next up, we'll be moving on to the defensive options that you can use to help survive longer in matches. If this video was helpful, let me know by commenting, or subscribing. Thanks for watching.